Hello, Steve White, Steve White 89. Well, The Expanse. Now, I just watched the first three seasons. Now, back in the day, I kind of missed this show. I heard about it, and I'd heard it mostly in relation to Star Trek Discovery. It came out in 2015, 2 years before Discovery, so it was well established, and there were a lot of comparisons back in the day. Now, I watched the first season on some streaming service, and I don't know if I saw the whole season because I just remember being not impressed. And I remember feeling like it just felt like a knockoff of Blade Runner, where it's this guy in this hat doing this sort of noir, sci-fi noir, future noir, sort of looking for this missing girl, and it just seemed really. Why am I watching this? Like, it just felt like too much of it was on Earth, and I'm just like, why is everyone talking about this like it's such a great show? I don't know. Maybe I didn't see the whole season. Maybe at that point they didn't have every episode of the season up yet, and I just watched like part of season one. I don't remember some of the later things that developed that became what the show was about. It wasn't just about this missing girl and this detective looking for her. So season one, like I said, it starts off like that, and I mean, again, it took me a while to warm up to it. I don't like dark dystopian science fiction shows, and this is very much like that, where Earth and Mars are fighting. Mars and the Moon have been populated by humans, and there's a belt in between, and the people who don't live off Earth are discriminated against and treated like second-class citizens, and they want they want independence and freedom and rights and everything. And there's a lot of politics, and it's all kind of dark and grim to think that we would become that sort of humanity in the future. But it's shot believably. You do feel like you're in space. All the environments seem real. The people seem real. There's a lot of diversity. It's not forced. There's a character that's kind of comparable to Michael Burnham on one level, where she does sort of always seem to know what to do and is always sort of gets sort of the chance to sort of save the day and sort of be a leader without actually being the captain or anything. But she does it in a way that is believable and likable, and you're with her and you understand her, and it's not like Michael Burnham where it's this sort of Mary Sue level. You do feel like she's a real person, and it works. I'm not quite sure why, but it does. I was quite surprised to see that Jay Hernandez was in it for a few episodes. Although I don't know if I saw the episodes in the wrong order, if I fell asleep or something, but there's a point where that character gets stabbed through the chest and you think he's dead, and then he appears in another episode with no explanation, and then they seem to show that scene again, and I'm like, I didn't think they were messing around with time at all. But either way, glad he was there. Also surprised to see Simu Liu in one episode in the third season, because I didn't know he was in that either. One of the main characters, what is she? She's not she's one of the leaders, and I cannot remember her name. Should I try and pronounce it? Why am I seeing the executive producers when I'm looking for the actors? I'm not even going to try. No, I can't even. She's great. She was in Star Trek Beyond. She played an admiral, and I can't pronounce her name. She plays like this. She's not the president. She's just one of the politicians involved, and she's incredibly strong and controlling everything, and kind of despicable on some level. She tortures political. What do you call them? Political. Not hostages. But yeah, either way, she plays dirty. She gets things done. She wins. She plays to win. So she's an interesting character. But later in the series, particularly in the was it the start of the second season, end of the first season, or the start of the second season? A mess. But she ends up going into space to meet one of the other politicians, and she gets double crossed, and she gets attacked, and she's saved, but she ends up sort of on the mission out in space with the members of the crew that we see from different episodes. And it's interesting to see she hates being in space, and to see her having to sort of, just wear regulation boots and clothes, and having to just work with the people to try and save the day and save Earth is interesting, because obviously she was sick of sitting behind a desk and being separate from all the other characters. It would sort of go from space to her on Earth, space to her on Earth, and they finally got her into space. And there is one point where they are actually traveling through space, and she nearly dies because she can't handle the velocities and everything and all that. So because she's older and also just traumatized by just traveling at all. So she had a really great character. Even though I hated her in the beginning, I did start to care about her, and I did actually care what happened to her by like the third season. Sort of same with the other characters. There's this Marine who doesn't appear to have any emotions. Seeing him trying to deal with morality and emotions and so forth is interesting. He's very simplistic in some ways, but kind of disturbing and scary, but sort of childlike in some sort of ways. Interesting. There's another character who comes on second season or third season. I'm just looking at the first 3 seasons. I watched them all together, so it's hard to separate them. But his daughter is taken because she may be able to speak to this race of aliens that seem to have come from this element that is infecting people and then creating these beings. And that's sort of what the series is really about Earth and Mars coming together to defeat this other threat. And that's what is established towards the end of the first season, which I somehow missed. And I just thought it was about this detective looking for this missing character and just the politics of, Earth and the Martian colonies and all sort of that. And I thought that's what the series is about, and that's why I wasn't that interested in it. But once we sort of went out into space and stayed there and dealt with this element and this alien race and seeing people try and work out what is happening, what they want, who they are, having it create this sphere in this pocket in space, and it's very motion picture where you don't really understand what this alien is. Is it a threat? Is it, misunderstood? What is happening, and seeing the characters try and work that out, and see some characters leading others to resolve the situation without going to violence and without sort of just attacking each other and working together. And you do see the crews eventually work together. And there is a conspiracy where one of the politicians is covering up the fact that he it's so much too complicated, 3 seasons of stuff to explain in one video. But you'd want this guy to get outed. You want him to be exposed, and there's so many points where you think it's going to happen, and it comes towards the end and it's fairly well done, but there are times when you're like, oh, why didn't they just send that message? Why didn't they just tell this person this? Oh, why did that person get shot before? Why didn't they share the video before they spoke and got shot for mutiny? So it did draw me in. It's like a science fiction political thriller. Even though it is dark and dystopian, it does have characters that are likable. It does have scenes and places that sort of relatable to a degree. It's all very realistic. You feel like you're in space. I felt like I was on the ship, and I just really didn't realize it was as good as it was. But so now I understand why people were talking about it so much and comparing it to Star Trek, because it's very different. It doesn't have that Star Trek format where you get a new adventure and new story and all that, but that's because it's not Star Trek, it's Expanse. And to see shows like Star Trek try and be the Expanse and do these season arcs where it's all just about getting to the end and the final battle, and it's just really not involving. Whereas this, it was twisting and turning and you weren't quite sure. There were times mid-season where I felt like they'd resolved everything. I'm like, well, where are they going to go for the rest of the season? Like, did I fall asleep and miss 4 episodes? Is this the end of the season? Are there like 5 more episodes to go? And they go in another tangent, another direction of the same story and dealing with the same species and all the political dramas and all that. And it just works really well. And that's about as specific as I can get with the first 3 seasons. So this is just a basic overview saying the show is great. I've only seen the first 3 seasons. They made 6 and then it was cancelled. They actually changed from, it was Sci-Fi for the first 3 years, and then it was cancelled and they moved to Amazon. And I'm not sure if Amazon released the later seasons on DVD. I have to check it out. I only got the first 3 a few years ago and didn't really think about it.